Alright, so we are recording. Welcome to the trading game. Just talking about the change in market structure yesterday on the hourly time frame, and how if you zero down in on it and look at where it actually turned on the minute, which is where a lot of us trade, this was kind of the signature. So we're liquidity traders. If it doesn't leave a lot of liquidity down here, you can be more confident that it doesn't need to come all the way back. So, this kind of move right here, not the bottom, right? Too much liquidity generated, comes back down, takes that, comes down, creates more for the move up. And then, we get this, we get the, the shake out the longs right here, and then it just takes off. So, someone recently posted a GIF from Lumi Traders in the Discord that gives a good summary. Yeah, they did. I don't remember if that's the one they were talking about that was kind of blurry. We were trying to looking for a better copy. But yeah, all of her stuff is really good. I follow her on Twitter. And Adam, I think, is in her Discord as well. So get everything sorted out. I didn't get as much time as I wanted to kind of prep, so I want to go look at the news real quick, just see what we can expect there. So Friday, this has already occurred. This is 8:30 New York time. So personal spending, personal income, core PCE. It's red folder news, but it's nothing that there's a lot of news at 8:30. So if we see anything that happened at 8:30, that might have been the reason. But after that, nothing that really, Fed Williams speech. Those are usually nothing unless it's Powell. There's really nothing on here that we have to worry too much about, but there is news, so we'll just have to see. And if we look at the 8:30 New York candles, we would see nothing really. I mean, price was already, a strong up push. It pulled back down, and then it just continued on its way. So nothing really going on. So just gonna watch. We're bullish overall on the hourly, but you've got London lows, you've got Asia low. Is it time for a retracement? That's what we want to look for. That's not the hourly. I need the hourly. Yeah, definitely could be time for a pullback, but we've got higher time frame support above us on just about every time frame. So we do expect a push down. And if we weren't in the open, this would be something I could see taking if we got the criteria on the 1. So not a break of structure there. You got a swing point here, so strong break of structure here, fair value gap left, displacement down. But is this the manipulation? So that's the only thing. You can get manipulation at any time to come down here, take liquidity and then turn around. It's just more likely in the open. So a lot of times it'll show you what you want to see and then come right back against you. So, but I also believe, you see the trade, you take the trade. I think it stands up at any time. Just my personal feeling about it kind of keeps me out, not necessarily anything I've traded. I know I'm more apt to get faked out, maybe a little higher potential for that, but I also know that when the criteria is met, the trades are usually good no matter where you see them. So I think I'm just intimidated a little bit by that time frame, but that's fine. And we've got this new week opening gap right under us, which could be support. It has been support. So even this could be the end of the, liquidity sweep right here. I mean, this could be the down move. and then we could continue on our merry way, but just don't know. To me, this is still part of the consolidation. It just takes a little liquidity each time. Now we took a little bit here. For it to go down anymore, this would be the next kind of target, I guess, pool of liquidity. But we know, it doesn't have to go there. We'll see. And if this is the move, we didn't really get a chance to get in on it anyway here. And I don't like these candles for a third candle on the fair value gap. Doesn't mean I won't take it. It's just, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. News at 9:45 and 10. Yeah, there is news. I mean, if you look at the calendars, there's news just about every day. But some of it's significant for us, and some of it's not really, doesn't matter. There's nothing today that would stop me from just taking a trade at any time. Especially now that the 830 is up. And the 830 would have presented the biggest problem because it was red folder news, even though it wasn't the substantial red folder news. There's still potential for that to do something. If it's a really bad, release. So we'll see. I don't really know which way I want it to go, honestly. I like to try to have a feeling for, if we're definitely bullish on the hour. This is the weekly, monthly push back up here. Don't have a fair value gap yet, so this, not a lot of resistance to go back up there. Same thing here, big push up. Just have to see, This fair value gap's been respected, once. Dipped a little deeper the next time. We don't really trade the month or the week, but we want to be aware of it. So NQ, wait, this is ES. ES took a little bit more liquidity. It's so close though, I can't really use that. Where's my price at? 42, 42.60, there we go. Minute, 5 minute. Okay. So let's see. Our lead 17. You might be new. Welcome. DHOP 011, possibly. If not, I'm wrong, but welcome. Ragnar 1965, possibly new. I think that's about it. Yep, welcome to the trading game. I'm pretty sure our Rainer's been here before. Yeah, I got everybody. So for those few that are new, I'm pretty new. I've been trading just a little over a year, and a little over half of that with ICT. I try to demonstrate, the concepts and the principles and all of that in my trading, and I do it live just to kind of promote that as a, an effective strategy, overall set of concepts. There's a lot to it, and, you can start simple and add to it, I think is the best way to do it. When I tried to start it in the beginning, I started trying to watch 42 videos and make it into something I could use, and that's difficult. I mean, there's so much information. So when he came back out and kind of simplified things with the silver bullets and his one trade for life, that helped me out a lot, because then I was able to find something, a strategy that just had very, a few criteria, a few steps. This is episode 955 in. He kind of explains what that setup looks like, and that's where I got my criteria. So I'm trading it almost exactly as he taught it, just with a couple little tweaks that I found were good for me in my back testing. Hello everyone, my name is Mason and I'm an addict. This is how I would start every stream if I was running them. Yeah, exactly. I tell people too, when they do something silly, or they talk about something they blew, I just tell them, well, keep coming back. If you've ever been in a 12-step meeting. Not that I have. I mean, I have friends and I've been supportive of them. So, yeah, just keep coming back. It's, that's the same thing that we tried to. Somebody asked me yesterday. He says, I need more wins. I said, well, keep coming to the streams. Keep coming back. Keep grinding. Keep studying. Keep back testing. You're either earning or learning. There are no losses. And if you approach trading like that, what do you consider BMS, 1 or 2? Breakup market structure. Breakup market structure. Are you on you're on the 5? What are you on? USD cash. I don't know what US 100 is. That's not the S&P. Is that the NASDAQ? Dow? I don't know. They're both breakup structures. It's just, the number 2 is more significant. It's breaking a, more of a longer term, intermediate term high, whereas the other one is breaking a more short term high. So I would use either one of them. And here's a good way to kind of show the difference. I would take number 1 as my silver bullet, and others will take number 2. And we're both right. I mean, you can win either way. I try to get more trades, and my back testing tells me that number 1 wins with nearly as high a percentage. And I haven't really compared it to 2. I just know 1 wins a lot. But other people have chosen 2. So I'm going to have to silence somebody. USO, got to cut you off. Totally lost my train of thought. I was looking at your picture. So, significant breakup structure here, less significant, but it still counts. ICT has used this as his example, and he's also used this as his example. So it's kind of a personal preference for you to go in and back test every, opportunity to check which breakup structure gives you the most wins. And the way I did that was when I was doing my back testing. Which one was it? So this was my kind of an intermediate versus shorter term market structure shifts. And, how many candles was the displacement that broke structure? Was it one big candle? Was it 2 or 3 candles? And what I found is that the results were pretty consistent across both in this small sample. I have other backtesting templates with more information on it, but this is the one I used because it was the most complete and it had the most efforts to go through and find things to look at. How many fair value gaps were there? Was there a liquidity sweep, or was it just displacement, right? Which candle retested the fair value gap? Was it the first one after, came back and dipped in? Was it a couple candles? Was it a lot of candles later? And once it did tap, was there a deeper retest? In other words, did it go away and come back and go deeper? Because at one point, I noticed that my stop loss actual, what I needed on a lot of these trades, was a very, very, very tight stop loss. I mean, 3 points just about wins all of them, except for a couple. But I still give it 5, just because this is a small sample and other people have recommended 5. So I'm leaning towards their experience, but that's how you kind of got to figure out for yourself which one of those you want to take, because you need to figure out, you need to have a system that's mechanical enough to know the difference, and you pick one or you use both, you know. But if you're going to use the first one, you'd already be in the trade on the second one, basically. So that's kind of how that works. You know, are you going to take the first one or are you going to wait? Waiting is probably a little higher probability, but you'll take less trades, right? Anything on the 5 minute, you know, is another example. 5 minutes, a little more high probability if you get a 5 minute break in structure and fair value gap. And if you're struggling on the 1 minute and it's too fast and, you know, you're not sure about the displacement and whatever, it's a lot cleaner on the 5. And if you still get the fair value gap, you're still in premium, and it still comes back up into that. That's a great trade. And if it lines up with your fib and some PDAs, I'll take that trade every day, because I know it's even more high probability. But I'm still in the 1 minute because I have enough faith in it to, you know, I don't have to always wait for the 5. But if I see them both, it's just an added confluence that, you know, probably a good trade. And we have that here on the 5. I mean, if it would have came back up here and tapped into this, it's very small, but it's got the hour right above it. Might have been worth a shot. And sometimes I say that it's just worth a shot. You know, I just take shots every once in a while. Get back on my thing. And a lot of that has to do with where I am in the day, where I am in the week, you know. I don't call that gambling. It's just sometimes I will take it with maybe one of the criteria bent a little, but not missing. Like on my market structure shift, or what the displacement actually is. I know what I want to see, and sometimes I'll take it even though it's not quite that, because I know it's still, the criteria is there. I just don't have as much confidence in it, but it still is a good trade. Jacob, you might be new, not sure. MRU, possibly new. Welcome. I think that's it. Yep. Get the chat back up. Data out yet? Data? You talking about the Boyo? You talking about the news? Yeah, news is the 8:30 stuff was out at 8:30 New York. So it didn't really have much of an effect. You know, it might have been bad and it dropped it down here, but it picked right back up and took off. So that was the 8:30 candle right there. So kind of a, you know, strange candle for right here, but all right, so no ability to get in, even if I'd have wanted to. Let's just, for grins, look at the 30-second, just to be aware of that as a potential. Maybe on the volume imbalance, you know, that would have counted. A couple of rejections off of a volume imbalance, but no fair value gap created here. First fair value gap was created here. It looks like it's a winner. You would have you'd had a little heat, a few points, but no big deal. Real wiki open. Not the price action you want to try to, you know, be trading into. This is cut them up, chop them up territory here. So that's why I want to wait, right? I mean, this is, you don't see all that trash until we get into the open, and then it's just ridiculous moves. And but also the criteria that we use, it acts as a filter. You know, there's no trades in here for me, so I'm not worried about none of this. If we get enough displacement and we break this with a body close, I could definitely see looking at it. I wish it would have came down a little more, but it doesn't have to come get it all. It got most of it except for like a point. So this would be, if we get the body close above this, and we're not. Yeah, we're not. Oh well. But that would have been displacement. If it closed up here, look at the size of that green candle, how big that would have been. And if it would have left the fair value gap, there was a liquidity sweep. That was an entry, you know, if it gave me the criteria. And that's why I say it acts like a filter. If you jump in on this trade because you see it just skyrocketing up and it took liquidity and everything looks great, you would have got, you know, it would have come way back against you. You'd have been already out. That's 5 or 6 points. You know, if your stop's 5, there's 64, 75, 61, almost 4 points. So, but with no fair value gap and no actual break of structure, that's just not something we can trade. ICT is live right now and saying don't trade today. I wish he wouldn't do that because there's been a lot of days when he did that and I traded and I killed it. So I'm just going to keep motoring on and just stick with the concepts and, you know, see what presents itself. Maybe after news. Yeah, I don't know. He gets in there sometimes and he drops these little things that, you know, it can bias you against everything because you think he's, you know, whatever. And, you know, I respect the heck out of his teachings, but don't tell me what days not to trade, right? That's not beneficial. I mean, there's a lot of people going to make a lot of money today, and there's a lot of people that are going to get crushed just like any other day. But I don't need his, you know, I don't need comments like that in the back of my mind. No, I shouldn't even be trading today. I'm too new. That stuff still affects me. But like I said, I'm still going to trade today. I'm just not going to do anything stupid. So, you know. Well, I say that. I say I'm not going to do something stupid, but if you stick around long enough, every once in a while, I might pull one off. Yesterday was kind of silly, but hey, you know, it worked out. Crystal, did he say why not to trade? Oh, it's the last day of the last quarter of the last month of the last year of the last century. That's what it was. So we expect a lot of volatility. But guess what? We trade NFP, we trade FOMC, we trade CPI, we trade the worst possible trading days of the year that have all of the
Actually,
volatility.
he,
A lot of
he
manip-
said it's because of all the chop that we're gonna have.
Well, that's fine. I mean, chop eventually might lead to direction. But it's no different than the red folder news days that we trade that are huge volatility, huge manipulation. I don't see what the difference is, honestly, and maybe someone can clarify that for me.
Well, a lot of people say that Fridays are uh, well, Fridays are a thing. Then there's that, like you were saying, right? There's a lot of uncertainty going on because the market is going up, even though it's kind of undecided where it's going right now. So he's just saying, hey, you know what?
No, that doesn't
Stay
sound
away from
that
a
that
choppy
doesn't
market.
that doesn't sound like anything legit. I mean, the market's not choppy right now. The market is bullish as hell. Um, I know it's a certain Friday. It's like the triple witching, you know, options expiration stuff. Uh, it is a substantial day, but to me, it's, you know, it's not any more substantial than the others, than the other, you know, high news releases. But it's not market direction because market direction is sweet right now. You know, we
Right,
finally turned around.
but he also doesn't like people to trade on those market releases. New guys. He's not. I don't think.
We don't
It's more
trade
of
the
the new
release. We
people.
don't trade the release. We let the release go, and we're not trying to look for trades for hours later. We wait for all the you know, manipulation and then catch those really nice moves after that liquidity's been created. That's what he teaches. That's what he does. And, you know, we obviously don't want to be in the market when they release the FOMC stuff. That'll get, yeah, I know, Crystal. You can, if you're not careful, you can get banged up. What did you do? Did you, like, you know, just try to play a YOLO shot or something, or did you wait till later in the day and just take a nice move? Chadu, you might be new. Don't recognize that name. Welcome if you are. Chill A0044, you're definitely new. Appreciate you being here. MS Fish from Space, I know you've been here before, but every time I see the name, and Private Cannon Fodder, some of your names just tickle me. I'm so bland. I'm just Mark from Omaha. I should have came up with something cool, but I didn't. You talking to me, bro? I lost my damn mind. That's what I did. Okay, so that was on you, not the concepts. Well, we all lose our mind sometimes. That's what we're trying to work on. All you. Okay. Hey, and when it's all me, I say it's all me too. You got to be able to be honest with yourself. If you start blaming the market, when I go back and look at any of my losses, it's all me. I can find something if I look hard enough, and a lot of times I don't even have to look hard. There's always something. If you go back and look, that you can find that you could have done better, you could have been more precise, you could have been more patient. Um, you know, and that's important to know because then you feel like everything's in your control. If you think it's the market after you, where do you get your confidence from? You can't control the market, right? The market's always going to be after you. How do you get confidence? But if it's me doing something wrong, then I can find a solution. It makes me study harder. Amen. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Makes me study harder. It does. It makes me build, notes and checklists and things like that take those learning experiences into consideration for the next move. And this is definitely not something, this isn't good. And if it stays like this, all day, then I probably just won't get any trades. And I do recognize it is a volatile day, and I can't remember. Let's go look. Let's go see. Let's educate ourselves on what this options expiration stuff really means. I don't know if it's triple or double. I'm just going to we'll get an idea if we go to triple witching dates for 2023. Okay, so it's not one of these. The third Friday of March. Okay, third Friday of September. Oh, that's way back in 2021. Here we go. And there's quad witching dates too. So let's look at the triple witching dates. Okay, so September, is this 2023? Yeah. So it's not a triple witching date. Let's see if it's a quad witching date.
No, it's just the end of the quarter, the end of the month,
That's
and the
what
end of the
makes it.
week.
That's what makes it.
That's all.
That's what makes it the witching date. Okay. When it's the end of the quarter, the end of the week, the end of the all of that.
Isn't the witching date on expirations for options?
Yeah,
OPEC.
which happens on quarters and all of that.
Yeah, that happened last week. That happened. That happens the third week. Sorry.
Right. So I wanted to see what the quadruple witching dates were. So if it's not even one of these, then it's just a normal Friday, other than being the end of the quarter, the end of the because
Well,
it's
end of the
not
quarter, end of the month. Yeah, that's not. It's not a regular end. It's not always that we have end of the week and end of the month
right,
and end of the quarter on a Friday.
right.
It's not. It's not often because
Well,
that
let's see what
means that.
happens. Maybe this is maybe we change the whole thinking on that and have a great day today. Third Friday of March, June, September, and December. Yeah, we saw that. I looked it up on the thing, Marcus, and found that, and just gonna kind of. I don't remember what my experiences were on those actual days. I'm sure I probably traded them, but for me, Fridays are great. Every Friday, so I've been trading the quarters and the weeks, and um, NFP Friday is the only Friday that I'm really worried about. And maybe I've just been getting lucky. It's very possible too. I'm not gonna say I'm not.
To be honest with you, I think today is a terrible day to trade as well. I think the market is undecided, up and down,
Okay, well, go grab your
and all
fishing
kinds of
pole.
crazy.
Go grab your fishing pole, and get some work done.
But I mean, good traders can trade mostly anytime, right?
Well, I'm not even in that category yet, honestly. So if I do well, it's probably luck. But if you need to be a good trader on this day, then uh, I don't know. That's just I have to look more into that, I guess. But this is my last day to stream before I go back to work next week, and so I'm going to take advantage of it. And you know what? I've always got an excuse if I get my ass kicked. I could say, man, it was that end of the quarter thing, that end of the week thing, quarter, you know. Naturally, I won't admit I shouldn't have been trading. I would just say it was unexpected volatility or something. FX NY, you might be new. If you are, welcome. Mick, maybe? I'm not sure. Welcome if you are. I don't think you are. I think you've been here. All right, so coming up on the silver bullet hour. Just kind of stuck in the middle of a range right now, so nothing showing up. I'll probably be less likely then to maybe take retracements and just focus on external liquidity, session liquidity, stuff like that. I mean, there's plenty of it down here. I'll mark some off on the 5-minute. What's this line? I don't like lines that go through the wicks. That's got to be the, yep. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There we go. Okay. So what would we need? We would need AM taken. Not thrilled about going short, but it would be an okay type retracement move, I think, because we are way up here. We'd have to do a new. So that was the retracement from. Damn it, man! All these. Yes, it does, our leads. We were talking about that yesterday. Market maker buy model. Okay, Mick. Good. Glad you're back. Yeah, glad you're back. If you come back for a second day, that means it wasn't terrible. And what we came up with on that market maker buy model is if you're a pro and you recognize ahead of time and you can use that to your advantage, that's amazing. But these setups that we take are just part of that architecture, part of that structure. So our setups are appearing inside that, and whether we knew it or not. So it's great to know, it's great to be able to apply and plan for, but you don't have to memorize that to use these trades. Oh, I was going to fib that retracement. So let's see.
Silver bullet time.
Yeah. So we retraced right to the tip of OTE. So great, would have been a great long right here on a retracement trade if I was watching. But I wasn't. Should have been. We're bullish, looking for retracement. Perfect. I mean, dips back here. If you had an OTE entry somewhere in here, looking for a hit. I probably get in a little after 50 and put my stop down below OTE. So I'd had plenty of room from, well, not from the beginning of the 50. I can't say that, but even from here to 54 would have got me perfect. So if I'd have split the difference right here and got in around 59, I could have come down here to 54 and been just one tick below the OTE, and that would have been a perfect trade. Would have rocketed up, 10 points. Gosh, man, I hate that. And I need a checkbox over here too to keep me kind of aware when that's happening. A lot of times I'm talking, I'm looking for one trade, and I miss the other trade. I'll miss the Kraken trade, or I'll miss the retracement trades, or the fair value new week opening gap trades. So yeah, our leads. Here's the daily over here, and it did just pull right down into that, and spit right back out. So that was our change in market structure on the hourly. It's not a change, probably anywhere else yet. But I use the hour as my significant measure because when it does change, it tends to go far enough to, it's meaningful. And I don't have to wait as long. If I waited for a market structure shift here to get bullish, that could be a couple days at this rate. So it's better to get an idea as soon as possible to help kind of frame your trades. ELR minus ILR. I'm not sure what that is, man. Can you break that down for me? External to internal. Okay, I got you. Yeah, external. Now we're going back after all that internal. So why are we getting? Oh, there we go. So I loaded the Tradovate app.
Do you suggest the Tradovate or the other system, the Rhythmic or something? I was
No,
looking
I'm
at the
not on any of
Apex
that
set.
yet. I'm just on the Windows version of Tradovate. I tested
No, I mean,
something.
like
I tested
which
something
one would you
earlier.
suggest for new people?
Well, I don't know yet because I'm still trying to. This is the first time I've loaded this.
Oh, okay. Well, you
So
have Tradovate, you don't like it, so
I don't like what it's been doing recently. I loved it in the beginning and been having some problems. So before I ditch it, I'm going to try the Windows version, which is giving me great feedback on price. I got everything else I'm used to using. So we'll just see. But I'm going to use that. If it doesn't fail me, then I'm going to stay on Tradovate and I'm going to load up a bunch more accounts and just stick with this. If I struggle, then I'm just going to blow this account up and go to the next batch.
the Apex sale is for what? Like a whole.
You sound like a robot, Toy Nancito.
Oh,
It's like you're getting that metallic sound in your voice, and I need you to get another mic if you're going to be on live or something, because it's really, really difficult to try to be hearing what you're saying. And you're talking a lot, and I don't mind that, but it needs to be clear. Cash and Pips, you've been here before, pretty sure. Chadu, I think you've been here before. Wants a stop hunt. I'll need to mitigate those stops via fair value gaps whilst it's rebalancing it or to reprice. Via fair value gaps while it's rebalancing. Yeah, I know the words you're using, but when you put them all together like that, I have to stop and think about it. I know about mitigating and rebalancing and repricing, but I'm not there yet where I'm putting it all together and really formulating a plan based upon that stuff. So it sounds like you're kind of a next level guy, and that makes us very happy to have you. um, the more people we can get in here that are really experienced and helpful, that just makes us better. So keep coming with the good stuff. If you got something to say and it's instructional, type it out, talk about it. I want everybody to learn. You're not going to make me look bad. I do that myself, and not afraid to admit it. So what's all that noise? Cash and Pips, I got to turn you down. Where's Addy at? Is Addy not in here? He was my mute guy. Trading Republic's in here. I guess. Is it only admins that can mute server? Yeah, probably so. Server mute. So I'm going to give you a couple of you that ability to do that. That way you can help me out. It says I'm muted. Yeah, I muted you because you had a lot of background noise. Whatever you would sound like you were sliding a chair across the floor or something. I'll unmute you, but just be aware. There we go. You should try Ninja when copy trading. I was on Tradovate but switched to Ninja. Yeah, I'm right there, brother. I mean, I've loaded it. Some people have volunteered to help me, learn it quicker than it would normally take me. Going to lead me through some stuff. But I'm going to give Tradovate one more chance. I mean, I've already got accounts there, and when it was working before, I have to take an extra step, but I don't mind that really, to break my orders into partials. So a 1 minute fair value gap. Can't really do much with that. Bullish 5 minute fair value gap would probably be stronger, and coming out of this new week opening gap. So no interest in a short. And this is that's why the criteria are so good to have, because is this the manipulation? Is this to get you short before it goes long, to come for this liquidity because we're bullish? Yes, this is ES. It's all I trade right now. I was trying to trade, I had 4 or 5 of them I was trying to trade, and I was not doing good at any of them, basically, jumping around. And, if you're new and you're trying to trade 3 or 4 instruments, that's challenging. I mean, because you're still trying to, market structure and liquidity, everything else that's common to all of them is still something we're working to identify properly and recognize, to get our bearings on what's a good trade versus what's a bad trade. And if you have different structures going different directions, and you're trying to look at all of these time frames on 3 or 4 different instruments, I can't process that yet. And eventually, if that's what people are doing, I hope to be able to do the same thing, but I'm not there yet. So I just focus on one. I get a good feeling for it. I just want to build a nice relationship with ES. ES is going to be my side chick. I'm married, but ES will be my side chick. I used to have a motorcycle that was called the side chick. And, it was a tongue-in-cheek thing. But that's kind of the way I look at it. I want to get intimate with ES. And that is very important. What Mark just says, keep it simple and stick to max of 2 to get yourself up and running. Trading 10 different instruments kills you. Yeah, exactly. If I could just do this and like oil for the times when there's news, or this is usually when I go over and I look at oil, it's moving like ridiculous, and it would have been great and I would have killed it, and so there's oil, right? Let's see if we can get an entry. Break a structure, entry right here on this displacement. Huge move, easy pickings on oil, right? I would have taken that all day long. I'd have been in right there, and I would have made thousands of dollars, tens of thousands possibly. Well, 10 or above. I don't think 20. I definitely would have made over $10,000 on that across my evals, for my evals, easily. I mean, every point is $1,000. I am on the minute though, so. But that's what I mean. If you watch me, and the last few times I've switched over to oil, just as an example, to say, wow, let's look at oil. That's what oil's doing. So, but like I said, I'm not there yet. I'm confident that I'm getting there, and I look forward to that opportunity to be able to maximize my ability to be in the market. I want to be in the market. I just want to be in it responsibly. There's a good tip from Flaw in the Matrix. It's called the filter candle theory. I've seen all the Matrix, but I don't remember that specific. I'll see if I can find that short somewhere and check it out. Wow, Marcus, you've been trading 17 years? Oh my God. And still the max trade is 3, right? Okay, so I mean that's advice from somebody that has been in it a while. That's your line of work. I hear you. Good job. So if he's been doing it that long and he's come up with probably 2 or 3 is good, I definitely take that as solid advice. The side chick. I don't know if I misgendered ES or not, but if I did, I'm sorry. So this is, you know, I don't know, possible. Let's see what it does. I don't like taking it that low, but you know, if the break of structure is that significant, and I've got a target down here offering me 10 points or so from up here. Let's see what builds here. I mean, I'm not opposed to taking that. I got what I needed so far. I like him up here more. This actually was the move on the minute probably, even though there was no swing broken. So, you know, criteria wise, if I'm being 100% rule based, I couldn't have taken that one. I could take this one, but it's so far. I mean, it's not really. It's still in premium. I gotta figure it out quick though, because I got this minute candle. So it dipped into premium or discount, which could be a further move up. We'll see if it taps that, and I would probably just go 62. I would get in on this, not full risk. Curious to see what it does if it dies right there. That should have been my entry. What the hell? I tried to get in and I got this message. Why is it? Oh, man. All right, so the first order you try to make on this Windows version, it wants to verify. And now I feel weird about it. Sometimes I'm superstitious. I don't know. It's a good trade, but I wanted it up here. And I've talked before about it's hard for me when it's missed, if I missed my entry, to just take it. Even though, man. And it's funny, I can't make myself hit the button. I just can't. Because then if it goes against me, then I went against my gut feeling and it ends up with a regret, and I don't want to trade with any regrets. So if it pops back up into here, I'll take the trade. If it dumps from here, I'm not. And that's how it has to be for me. The farther it gets away from where my target is, then my partial is farther away. It changes the entire mood of the trade. I'd rather just miss it. Probably gonna miss it. Yeah, I'm gonna miss it. Doggone it.
Wait for the discipline.
Huh? What's that? I heard it sounded like discipline. It's discipline. It's also hesitation, and I don't know what it is really. It's sort of a weird. It feels like a weird ism that I have for some reason. I can take the trade here, but I can't take it here a point later because it's dropped. And I don't feel like I'm trying to be a perfectionist and get it to the tick in the best place, but for some reason, when it starts dropping, it's just hard for me to get in if I miss something. If it's down here and I miss a point or so, and maybe I've had bad experience with that. I don't know, but something left a bad taste in my mouth to where if I hesitate and it starts dropping, if I know it's a 5-point trade, I can't even get in and just aim for 3, and that's what I should do, right? Because then this means nothing, but then I'm risking 5 to get 3, and so all the way around, it's just kind of weird. I was trading QQQ. I agree they look different. Oh, I missed some stuff here. King Kong Chimp, $1 million. $1 million. We're gendering financial instruments now. Yep. Sorry. That 1 minute fair value gap was a great entry. Yeah, it was, man. I know. Up here and down here. If I would have went to the 30-second on the top, I bet I could have got it. But I'm talking. I kind of looked down and saw, hey, that looks like a good, it looks like a good candle to get in on. There was no liquidity sweep or market structure shift. I think the liquidity sweep was the one up here. We're still kind of in this move down. This is just a failed swing. This is sort of the 2022 model. If you catch this and then the fair value gap off of it and get the big move down, that's still, you did have a liquidity sweep here. And internal liquidity taken here, on the way back up. But so if I would have caught it there at 62.50. Oh man. See, that's the kind of stuff that puts me on, can put me on tilt, because now I'm already thinking I could have had my daily goal. Could have been an easy Friday, chill Friday. Oh, okay. I see. You were looking at ES. Yeah, Berhoki. All of this up here was, nice. This was nice. This was nice. Ronnie, double or nothing, man. Throw it out there. Make 1,500 today. No, take your money and go, man. Hey, awesome, man. I've been wanting to call you sir for a while, so send us that certificate. Let me post it, and we'll celebrate that with you. You're always calling me sir, and I haven't done nothing, so. Spats, I think you're new. Welcome. Pobs 9, maybe. If I call any in the same day, then I need more coffee. But
yeah, this is my first week. I'm gonna join the 22 mentorship talk tomorrow.
Are you? Okay, great. Yeah, get in on that. I think we're around videos 11, 15, somewhere in there. So just bring questions.
Do I just join similarly to this one?
Yes, you would just pop in, and we'll be in here at 10 o'clock Central. And just bring your questions, your 2022 questions. We went through a lot of, the charting and definitions and setups and stuff. Maybe later in the mentorships he gets into stuff that's easier for us to just chart and talk about. But right now we're really just trying to take questions. All right, Bergoki, take it easy. Good job, man. The silly 1 minute fair value gap setup. Nothing wrong with that, man. That's my bread and butter too. So. But yeah, pubs, just show up for that, and we spend about an hour in there, and we just kind of, talk about ICT and try to find people with questions, and if we don't have them, we'll go get them, the answers. It's a great place to just get clarification on little points that we all found when we tried to go through that alone. So. All right. So definitely regretting all of that, not getting in on my move. I don't want to sell now, because if I do that, then, so just next time I go to sell, I just need to click that button real quick. I'm going to cancel it for now. I didn't anticipate that, so pisses me off though. I feel like Tradovate's just after me, right? It seems like everything I do, it's trying to hold me back. But we're not blaming platforms. Is this the first time I used it? Did I try to use it the first time live? Should I demo test it at first? Who knows? I don't know if it gives you that in demo though, or paper trading. Plenty of time though. Right, DK. And I thought I've loaded it. I loaded it on my laptop. I never loaded it on this computer. So I guess in the back of my mind, I was thinking I've used it before. I just didn't know that I needed to use it, right? And we'll see if this makes the difference or not. All right, so
Still coming down. Look at oil.
Yeah, I know oil's had tanked quite a bit.
I've been short since I've been short since '94.
MTM4, yeah. Okay, first convincing win in 3 days. So have you had some unconvincing wins where you still won? I mean, I get that sometimes. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I got a bunch of that, and I try to start eliminating some of that because I feel like I'm lucky sometimes when I do that. You know, if I didn't follow my plan, just kind of went on a feeling, and feelings, you know, sometimes you've got good intuition, but it's not something I really want to count on when I'm, you know, trading funded accounts or my real money. I want to have something that's just rock solid that I trust it, you know, no matter what. It's great when you win, but then when you lose, you got all kinds of reasons to doubt your thinking, doubt your proficiency, you know, doubt your ability to control yourself. There's a guy I know that likes to say, do your due diligence before you press that button, because after you press that, your hand are out of the keyboard until you profit or stopped out. Right? Exactly. And I spend a lot of time looking for and framing the trades and finding the rules, and because I like that ability to just push the button and then step back and leave it up to the market. You know, I did everything I could. It's an A+ trade whether I win or lose, and that makes trading a lot easier. All right, so anywhere in here, if I get the criteria and it's solid, I would still take a long. I wouldn't be surprised if we, you know, get a bounce. Could. Still bullish. Doesn't have to come down here and take this. It's a very small point. Not a lot of liquidity there as opposed to like a double bottom or, you know, but you got stuff behind it too, farther down. I mean, if we're just going to crash all the way, you know, and recapture all of this, then I could get burned on a nice huge fake. But that's part of, you know, the see trade, take trade. Ideally, if it's going to do that and come back up, it would consolidate. And that looks like it's beyond optimum trade entry. So it is beyond optimum trade entry. Not a great, you know, you're also trading, you know, it is a reversal here. And if you're trading it with inside the mother leg or whatever, that's not where you want it to be. You would want it to come back down into here into a fair value gap and then turn around. But so yeah, I think I'm going to wait. If I get an external liquidity grab here, I would take it. I don't want to follow a good move by a bad move that's impulsive, right? But that's pretty solid. So here's where we go to the 30-second, right? We're not going to get a swing, but if that displacement holds, and I didn't do it quick enough, but if that displacement holds, we would check for a swing down here. There really aren't any, so no trade. I try though. I mean, when I'm dropping into the 30 seconds to look, it's on my mind because that is displacement. It's bigger than everything around it, right? It's just too. It just has that, I don't know, manipulation kind of feel to me because we left this stuff right down here, came all that way down for something, right? Last tap of major liquidity was right here, and we dropped another, you know, a good bit. So it seems like if I was the scammy market maker, I would do something like this and then come back down and get this. We'll see what happens. And these reversals can be uncomfortable because sometimes it feels like you're trying to catch a falling knife, and time a bottom or something like that. But that's why you wait for the criteria. And if it presents itself, then that's your indication that you might be okay. But anything without that is trying to catch a falling knife. So don't want to do that. Good morning, Jesse, Greg. I've talked to a few of you this morning. Queen, Ron, Ronnie, everybody. Worm, what's up? Oh, I saw you DM'd me. I'll get to you in just a minute. I can look. Quick. So, Worm was asking me a question about Tradovate and the kind of problems I was having with it. It's, let me get back to whenever I go out to look at a DM, it's a job to find my chat again. There we go. It's just acting glitchy, and that's the best way I can say it. It's doing things I can't explain. I have my P&L keeps moving even when I have orders that aren't open and working. I took a trade yesterday. I got stopped out, tried to go long, and it immediately stopped me out again and pulled a new loss from my initial entry instead of giving me a new entry long down here. When I went long down here, it pulled another line down here and called it a loss and took another $500 off my P&L. And I had no working orders open here. And I, no clue how that could happen. I can see if I have a couple orders open and sometimes it'll do this too. It'll close one of them when it goes through to stop me out. And it's a big stop out. It blows through it and it leaves the other one open. And it just keeps running against me until I notice. So, very, very frustrating. Have a good one, Marcus. Thanks. Good job. If I caught 120 pips, I'd probably be off too, but no, I'd stick it out for you guys. I wouldn't run away make a bunch of money and run. So this is all, big push. Has to come down before it can go up. Let's see what happens. Not really a swing for me. So I don't take the equal highs. I used to, and then someone more experienced told me that's not really considered a break. So good morning, Papa Josh. Hope you're doing good. Dragon Turtle Co. Pretty sure you're new. Those names are easy for me to spot. Welcome, glad you're here. Just kind of watching the market, talking ICT, looking for a way to get in. Yeah, I hear you, Greg, but I don't understand the part about trying to go long, and getting popped out for a short loss, that I just don't understand how that happens. And it wasn't doing that. I've been using it for months and having no problems, and then just this week, it starts doing that. And a lot of times it's not any kind of a fast move. It just ticks into my stop and it, goes out. So he's saying DR, IDR. Get rid of all these fibs. Where is my DR, IDR? Do I even have it? I got it down here. This is London. Oh, okay. I guess that's the open. That's the open and the DR top. I don't see the IDR though. Let's see what we got going on. So the DR and the IDR might be one line here, maybe. Oh, it's white. That's the problem. Yeah, when I went to light mode, I didn't fix all that. There we go. We had some guys with Apex having positioned open and close too loose. That's why they left Apex after being profitable for some time. Huh. I don't know that Apex really controls that though. I mean, they're not the broker. I'm actually trading through Tradovate. I have a cash account with Tradovate. So I don't know. And I don't remember if I tried it with my cash account, but doing it with a single account as opposed to multiple accounts might have been the difference. I don't know. So back inside, inside the range here, we're looking for something below this, or above this now. I'm not going to take anything but silver bullets today. I'm just kind of resigned to looking for that type of move, because even in a bad day, that move, it shows itself to be strong, and it works through the noise, through the chop. When you get your silver bullet, it's still there, it's still clean. Wouldn't have been a problem. I missed 2 opportunities, and I do feel a little something over that, so I want to be careful that I don't just try to take something to get my money back. Anytime something doesn't go right for me, I look at how I feel, and if you ask yourself, in your heart, are you feeling something over that, you'll know. You can't lie to yourself. And since I'm honest with myself and I feel that, I'm going to be a little bit careful. I don't want to turn a non-problem into a big problem. A missed trade isn't a problem. Reacting to a missed trade can get you in trouble. And I have gotten in trouble, so now I look at it a little bit more carefully. Thanks, Ronnie. We're gonna try to knock something out of the park here. Hey, we got the end of the day. Possible the fire move. That's what I'm calling it now. Somebody said something about a fire move yesterday, and I adapted it. The last 5 or 10 minutes of the session. Maybe on the last day of the last quarter of the last decade move, it's even more substantial, and I can close out my challenges on that move. I haven't lost it yet live, so knock on wood. I do have some wood right here, but no matter what, that's always in the back of my head now, and it's really a great motivator. It's a solid trade. It's a high probability trade. It can be a 20R trade. I mean, it went for that. Tuesday and Wednesday? Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday it went crazy, and I only caught half of it because I stopped it at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. In 5 years with Ninja Trader, I have never had an order not filled where it was placed. Okay, right on. ATM brackets ready for the fire move? What is that, dude? What are you doing, boyo? You're taking this to the next level, man. Hey, DM me. I need to know if you've got like a bracket ready. I guess I could do something like that. I just put my finger on the buy button, and when I see the move, I hit it. And I generally am fast enough to catch it where I want to. But I still want to know what you're doing, all right? Anytime someone comes up with something that's new and exciting and interesting, you never know. It might be the next best thing or next big thing. So don't discount anything anybody says, because at any moment somebody can find something that changes your trading world. It's out there. Good morning, Brainy. Good to see you. Jonesy, JP Frex, 1FX, MX, Market Madness, Michael, Ardu, Ms, Neil, Seth DG, Share Bear, Spats, Stifler, you might be new. Are you the Stifler from that show? I don't remember if that's the name or not, but anyway, welcome. Good to have you. The Sith Master, right? If that's your real name, that's fine. Yeah, if that's your real name, that's fine, but, right? It's also it's a character's name. That's fine. I didn't recognize the name if you haven't been in and out a lot, but glad to have you anyway. Hope you get something out of it. You'll get something out of it, whether it's me showing you how to win well or lose better. I promise you'll get something out of it. I can show you what to do and what not to do. No, I just made a bracket with 5 handle stop loss and starts trailing after 5 handles. Mark, nothing special. Okay, yeah, I've got, I can do that. I actually have some setups in my saved bracket stuff where I played around with some different options. That one's just to break even, but the trailing stuff, that's a great place to trail, boy. I didn't even think about that. That's probably the best place to trail and just leave it alone, and accept what you win or loss. Because if we would have done that, I don't know if you caught the rest of that move the last couple days, but when I got to 4 o'clock, I just thought we were done, and I canceled it, in profit, in a huge profit yesterday. Or not yesterday, day before. I've just been stopping at 4 o'clock, so if we catch that move, and when you catch it, I never really see it reverse. It just makes that move, it takes that liquidity, and then that's usually when it peters out. So I just made it. No, I didn't. Got out early. Yep. Well, we won't do that again. We're in it to win it. That's my motto for the trading game. We play to win, right?
Fair value gap is being respected quite heavily.
Yeah, it is. For sure.
But the market structure shift at 1026 was invalid, or
At 1056. At
from
1020.
the highs from 1026.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take that as a.
Yeah.
And I've had to go through and find out what people think about that, because I was questioning it. You can still win. It can still do anything it wants to do, but probability-wise, and if you're going to talk about needing a break in structure, I didn't get it here. So if break of structure is part of my criteria, and I'm being faithful to my rules, no matter how bad I want to get into this trade because I just missed it here, I don't break the rules to try to compensate for this. I wouldn't have took this if this didn't happen, so I shouldn't take this regardless. And you're going to lose lots of trades that go on to win, and that's why you have to be solid in what you have. You have to know that you've tested it for a reason. Everything else is hindsight, right? When it was my time to get into this trade, all I knew was my rules weren't followed. I don't know the rest of it yet. And you have to get that hindsight mentality, kind of do away with that, so you're not judging yourself by what happened, but judging yourself by how you executed at the moment that you needed to make the decision. This was the right decision at this moment. I can't go back and get it now and say, well, it's okay now because it did something else. Just can't do it. So follow the rules. Consolidating, most likely going to go up, but there's still a lot of liquidity at the bottom too. So we'll draw the box. Got to have the box. Wrong window. I just took a screenshot of it instead. It's kind of a weak box, but I still put it on there for this level here and liquidity here, and we'll see what happens. If it goes through like I said, it's a weak box. It's already leaning down, so not ideal, but concept still remains. If it's going to take this liquidity, aiming for this liquidity, we would expect to break here first. So, and you know, whenever I draw these, I'm in different places, in different scenarios, so it's not a, you know, it's not a silver bullet. It's just a guide that I use. I like to have it on the screen to kind of tell me what I'm expecting the market to do. Like, this is normal. This is perfect for a move up. There's more liquidity here now than there is here. So why come back down? Let's go back up and take this on our way back to taking this. You know, it's a good signal for what you would expect for some retracement and a continuation. This type of box. But again, nothing can be 100%, because if it was, every time we saw this box, we'd all go along with 10 contracts and we'd go home, you know, and count our money. So this doesn't work that way. But as a rule, and you know, something you factor into your thinking, right? This is, I call it high probability. More times than not, it does what I expect it to do. And if I ever wanted to just start scalping, I would definitely use this model. I mean, I would be all over this, but I wouldn't take the breakout. I would look for the liquidity, I would look for the draw, and then I would take my move down here, go short or go long with a 1 point stop, right? So if I would have done that down here in this fair value gap, I'd already be at my 5 points pretty much with a 1 point. It would have been a 5-to-1 trade right here. So and it can also break both sides and reverse, right? That's the double whammy. But this part of it here, if I was going to scalp it, I wouldn't trade it and just take a, you know, aim for up here, but I would aim for the top of the range. And you can see, I mean, these are ICT concepts. This is liquidity, this is market structure, this is inducement, this is algorithmic. I just told you what was going to happen before it happened. And I'm not that smart, so, you know, I got this from somewhere. And it was ICT. 10-to-4 model worked beautifully today. Right on, Bartos. Hey Mark, what have you got wrote on your notes, top right of your trading view? Top right, these are the two entry criteria that I try to use. If I can get it into a white spot. So that's just my classic silver bullet criteria. Episode 9, 2022 mentorship, 9 minutes, 55 seconds in. He starts talking about that. And then this is the opposite of the silver bullet, which would be a trend move instead of a continuation. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. There was some price action last night or in London that this would have just killed it on. So I like to have one for the reversal and one for the trend. And that information is on episode 9 at 20 minutes and 15 seconds in. The 7:50 a.m. order block, ES holding. 7:50 a.m. 7:50 a.m. order block holding. Are we on the one, talking about the 1 minute or the 5 probably? Probably the 5. $7.50 order block here. And I don't know, I'm gonna call it that. Still working on my order blocks and stuff, so cut me some slack. Yes, definitely. And that's stuff I need to be marking on the chart. And that's what, you know, that's what stops you sometimes from coming down and getting the last little bit. And you have to be aware that that's always in play. And you may not come all the way down to here before you get a full move the other way. So from here, 56, 63, you know, a pretty painless 8 point move through the box based on the ideas of liquidity generation, liquidity sweep for continuation. This wouldn't be a terrible place to take this advanced entry because it has the breakage structure with displacement. It's really just the same criteria but in a different order. Instead of as a reversal, it's a continuation. So breakage structure, fair value gap. You know, if this is going for the rest of the day, this would have been the spot to get in, right? As far as I see it. And once I can get a little more loose, right now I'm kind of tight just from trying to pass this evals. I'm over halfway now, and it makes me a little more, I get a little bit more hesitant, I think. I feel a little bit different level of pressure. Now I'm kind of in a hurry, I guess. And so there's a lot of conflicting emotions going on with that. And I don't feel really loose to just take shots right now. But this would be a shot I would take if that's how I was feeling. If I was loose, I had a good cushion, I was on my cash account. I don't care about my cash account. I play it real loose. Maybe that's the one I should trade, but no, I'm not going to say that. I really need to stay. I need to stay in this mode for you guys. If I start doing stuff like that all the time, it would be confusing, I think.
Literally telling my girlfriend the other day that the closer I seem to get to my goals, the more emotional I seem to. And
yeah, sure. It's definitely, you know, we're all human. And the level of pressure or the challenges that you encounter, you know, are different sometimes. I mean, you run into something you're not used to, or you're in a new place. Like the first time you pass some challenges and you got a full PA account, guess what? It's different. It's a whole new list of things you've got to figure out and understand how your emotions are involved, and going from paper trading to money, you know, money, different. Trading in front of a bunch of people, different. Anybody new? I think that's it. Yep. We got everybody. Sal might be new. I don't know. If you are, welcome. Took the silver bullet short on NQ as my first trade with my first 50K challenge. So happy with the win. Good job, Keith. Right on. Yeah. Hey, Sal. Nice to see you in the stream. It's pretty laid back and open in here. I mean, you got stuff to post, say, you know, be vocal, get engaged, ask questions. Let us see what you're doing. We might have questions. Different strategies. Everything's okay. So, yeah, the silver bullet short was solid. I know. My trading view, I went to take it, and it gave me the confirmation message that I hadn't seen before, because it's the first time I used the app. And I was thrown off my game a little bit. Can't figure out if we take OTE short again. Yep, 61 retrace. I have been taking OTE entries all week, and because of the, you know, I'm a little bit intimidated by the, you know, the day and the week that we're in now, from between ICT and everybody else's comments. So I don't want to trade against that and be wrong, and then everybody says, well, I told you so. So now I'm in a different mindset, I guess. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have cared 2 bits, but now I've got the extra pressure of someone trying to say, you know, I did something stupid, so I have to be a little bit more reserved. Conservative. I tried to mix conservative and reserved at the same time. Oh, man. And I've had coffee. I don't have any excuses, really. Didn't hold till the end, but secured 580, so I'm happy. Heck yeah, I'd be happy. Are you kidding? We'll look at this 15-minute candle on ES. Seems to not want to close above the VI, volume imbalance. Okay, yep. Yeah, we got the 15 right here. Don't really see any. Yeah, this is broke again. Don't see a lot of support for any kind of a move right now on higher time frames, so just sort of chilling. It's not saving my stuff either. This is the kind of stuff that makes me miss moves too. It's got to be right, and I'll go change it, and I'll go back and look at it, and I'll be like, oh, that minute took you too long. So save that. And using a bunch of time frames is kind of frustrating, but it's definitely worth its weight in gold. So, all right. Interesting to see. This is an old new week opening gap because it doesn't show up on the 1 minute. But here again, so this break of structure might have been, this was a good move. This would be another possible trend advanced entry here. If we get the break, we get the fair value gap. And you just kind of play it up until it fails. If you're risking 1 point on it or something, or just a little bit. Well, no, that was the 1 point trade. These would be a normal 3 to 5 or something. But if you catch a couple of them, it pays for the time you eventually lose if you know you're in a strong trend. And I was going to show that. Let's see. I'm going to go back out to, when was it? Was it on the minute or the 5 minute? Yeah, we lost a lot of volume there, so maybe not a great example. And that's, so I guess it's kind of looks like this is similar. This isn't a break, but you had this swing here that this broke. I would almost count that. Breaking structure to the upside, fair value gap, entry. Break a structure to the upside, no real fair value gap. Break a structure to the upside, fair value gap. Comes back and wins later. But if you keep playing it up, break a structure, fair value gap, entry, big win. And then up here would be where you'd maybe get in trouble, but it didn't make a fair value gap. So your filter is your criteria. Even keeps you from getting the fake. Because if it doesn't keep building that support, now it's fair value up the other way. So for a trend, it's a simple method. Break a structure, fair value gap, entry. Break a structure, not really displacement though. I mean, you still need displacement too. So you got to factor that in. Your version of displacement might be a little different than mine. This was a good, on the 5 minute, break a structure here, fair value gap, big move. I think this is a great day for the end of the day move, because a lot of times, and like on those quad witching dates or whatever, there's places that they need to take the market to avoid paying a bunch of people, basically. And that's where it gets real. People have a lot of questions. They're like, well, this is where the expiration prices are, or whatever. There's trillions of dollars of whatever. And it's just funny how the market will, kind of make its way up there and take that out, It's one of the things that's probably the most obvious to me. The market shouldn't know that there's options expiration, all of that stuff out there hanging on where the market goes. ICT just put up his trade on that NQ short. The man is a genius. I know it, man. I mean, I don't know how new you are, but we just kind of went round and round about the video that someone put out recently claiming he was a fraud, and I made my response and kind of put a challenge out there. I felt really strongly about that because aside from everything else that may or may not be true, what he tells us is really, really good. It's just really good. So there's no way I could be doing this, a year in. I don't think, with the stuff I was trying to use before. I just don't see it, no way. Not with the kind of success I'm having at the moment. Could all change tomorrow, but for right now, I'm really happy. And I think a lot of you are too. I mean, we're the proof. With the people in here that are doing it on a daily basis, getting funded, doing their thing, you guys are the ones that are basically proving that that's all true. So how one guy comes out and tries to slay the whole community with something that to us is, rock solid and provable and demonstratable every day just kills me. So, all right. So still waiting for, some type of external liquidity to be taken. I know there's probably tons of breakers, mitigation, propulsion, all of that in here, but I'm focusing a lot more on talking than I am actually trading, but looking for setups at the same time. And I already said I was looking for the external liquidity. It might be afternoon, but I really believe this afternoon is going to be great because we're generating a ton of it. I would love to see it just kind of play around in here and then give me that end of the day move where, if you're here, you'll see it, or you'll see us set up for it. And when it gets close, we'll have our finger on the buy button. That's all I can say. We'll be ready to go. Adam, what's going on? I see you. I need my ICT Kraken. Release the Kraken. I'll have it by next week, I promise. We finally, we were, I was talking to him when I realized Discord wasn't working, and I kind of panicked. I was like, uh-oh, they came to get us. They raided our server. They're, locked us out. The MACD crosses didn't help, or the TTM squeeze. I used to use the lazy bear. The lazy bear squeeze momentum indicator. Let's see what the squeeze momentum indicator is telling us today. Oh wow, it tells me the same thing the market tells me. What do you know? Right? I needed this to tell me we were bullish. I needed this to tell me we were bearish. So, yeah. I don't use that anymore. And I back tested the dog crap out of this, man. I had every color that it could possibly be lining up with other stuff. And I spent, I don't want to say weeks, but it could have been weeks with this on my chart, looking how to use it with different things. But it's a really, really, really popular indicator. So, people are finding value with it. That's great. I just couldn't. Oh, thanks, Michael. Yep. So there's ICT's video on NQ. It'll be his live. He goes through and he basically candle by candle, just like I do. That's where I get it from. I've watched him do it, and when I watched him do it, it taught me the significance of every candle. Every candle is telling you part of the story. It's building a narrative. It's putting in punctuation. And if you are processing all of that, it gives you direction. It gives you hints. It gives you clues, That's how I was able to, call this move right here. I was waiting candle by candle. Consolidation range created. Liquidity is on the top. Have targets. It's going to come down before it goes up. Broke the box. Would have went long right here. And then, bam, broke the top. Took the liquidity. Extra liquidity. Now we're back in our, mode. But this was a huge signal, and that was from candle by candle, just looking at what the market was saying. And that's what he does so well. And I think what people maybe complain about is that he does it, and I don't know if that was live or not. Usually when I see it, it's a post, and I don't think it is live. And maybe I'm wrong, but I would love to see him actually in it, doing it live, to where I could point that out. Because I think what people think he's doing is he only releases the ones that work great. And that would be, I could see that would be kind of slimy. But still, I wouldn't hold it against him if he posted the ones where he fails either. Because, the stuff still works, but you're not going to always win. He's going to lose. He admits it all the time. So it doesn't mean that much to me that it's not live. I'd like to see some of it live. I think it would give him a little bit more credibility. Not that he needs it. But then I would have something to point these idiots to and say, here, shut up. And I don't have that right now. All right, so coming back down. Tons of manipulation. I mean, just tons of it. You could have went long on this. Yeah, you still would have got some points. You would have been break even. You still would have caught your 5 points. So even late, this criteria of the displacement with the market structure shift is, it's money. There's room for error, or room for, I don't want to call it error. What's the word? Being late even. This was ideally it, but we didn't get really what we wanted for a swing here. This would have been the actual break structure up here, and then the retest, some heat, but you're down here with your stop anyway, and you take the win. Coming back down, break a structure, fair value gap, retested. This would be a reverse trend. This type of advanced entry criteria would have got in maybe at the consequent encroachment. I don't know. Hard to say, how I'm feeling at the moment, but it would have been a full 5 point stop to get up into here. So play it from here. And it from 59, here's another winner. I mean, this is killing. This is absolutely killing it. These are all the trades I should be in or could be taking that are winners, just based on mechanical rules that we follow, every time, look for it. And the hit rate is so high, it's just crazy. I don't know if you're listening, Adam.
Not short.
What's that?
I took the short on that 1 minute for value gap, the huge one,
Up here?
the massive displacement.
Yep. Or this one.
Just for 5 points, it worked out brilliantly to me.
This one on the top or the second one?
Oh, go all the way forward. It's more recent.
Oh, in here?
You're right. I'll give you the timestamp.
Okay.
The one that happens with the 1056 candle.
1056. Okay, yeah, short right here. Yeah, that's good money right there. Solid,
Yeah, it's only because of the there's like a 1 minute fair value gap way above it that gets respected as liquidity's taken,
right.
And then there's a huge market structure shift with displacement.
Yeah, perfect.
So I was like, to be honest, there's so much resistance going forward.
Right. Where'd you put your stop
price
on that?
must be going downwards, especially. I put my stop above the inversion fair value gap. So there's like a bullish fair value gap at 1045.
Right here, yeah.
And then it inverts twice.
Yeah.
So then I placed the stop right above it because I was like, okay, if that's not enough resistance, then nothing is.
Right. Yeah, there's a volume imbalance here, fair value gap here. Actually, a little one here.
And so. it's at the 15 OTE.
Okay.
As well. So
wow.
I was like,
so that's
it's got to go down.
Awesome trade setup, awesome confluences, stacking your odds in your favor, looking at all the candles, all the opportunities to, give yourself the best chance. But even if you didn't know all of this, this was a solid, few criteria that work. And oftentimes they work because they have this behind them, but you don't need to recognize them. Once you see the displacement, the move is being generated, broke the structure, created the fair value gap. You got this no close above this imbalance. So everything was kind of screaming short. But I'd already said, I'm waiting for external liquidity. So when I should quit saying ahead of time what I don't want to put myself in a box. Because once I say it, I know I said it, and then it's harder for me to go against it. So we're in an interesting spot now. I mean, we took this, but we're close to this. So, this is our nearest drawn liquidity. To go against that, I got to have something really, really strong. And I wouldn't even get anything until I got up here. So I'm sort of protected at the moment unless a new swing is created lower, which is fine. If it came down and tapped it again and left me a closer swing, then I'd have an easier way to get into the market. I wouldn't have to go as far against it, Let's see. Wow, there's a bunch of you in here today. Right on. That one guy. I know you're not new, but I just like your name. Julian KBBQ. Pretty sure I haven't seen that name before. If that's you and you're new, or that is you, but if you're new, welcome. Glad to have you here. Yeah. Two winners, solid winners. Happy with my psychology today. So gonna stop whilst I'm ahead. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I will stop early, like on a Friday or something. Since I started trading like this, though, honestly, it's helped me to see that I'm not over trading if I take this 10 times today, because it's it's what I have the most faith, the most confidence in. And so if I'm winning, I'll, keep winning as long as I'll take the loss when it comes. But if I can get 6 more wins, through the session, I'll certainly take them. And I traded right up until the end of the day and was red, and then last trade of the day made me, way green. So I've always got that in the back of my mind to help me determine whether or not I want to stop. I know if I'm feeling a little nervous or something, and I feel relieved when I get my daily goal. If I feel enough relief that I made it, that I overcame something from yesterday or something like that, then I'll quit, because I don't want to give that back. But if yesterday was a decent day, the day before was a decent day, I start Friday, in a normal frame of mind, I'm just going to trade it out. And, I go past my daily goal a lot. I try to blow through it sometimes. It's there as a guide, but not a rule, basically. As long as I'm doing this. I couldn't do this before. When I wasn't trading a mechanical approach, I couldn't do that, because it all was kind of a little bit sketchy, maybe a little bit lucky if I hit my daily goal, it felt more like I was rolling dice. So I don't feel that way anymore. So if I see the A+ setup, every time it appears, I'm probably going to take it. That's see trade, take trade. If I can't take that trade at any time of the day, at any point in my trading life, then I need to reevaluate it and make it better and get the kind of confidence in it. And that's what it is. It's the confidence. I have the confidence in that trade. Doesn't matter where I'm at. If it shows up, I want it. But yeah, I'm not trying to talk you out of quitting. You do you. Definitely psychology needs to be your primary focus. So we're all at a different place. We're on the same path, but we're in different areas of the forest. So Silver Bullet hour is over, and it delivered. I mean, it delivered. Kraken's gonna have some videos on today's Silver Bullet. Go watch his stuff. He's gonna break this down again. Maybe, I don't know if he does every session every day, but when you go through his videos, you'll see this demonstrated. You only can watch me or go through a chart. It's slower if you're trying to do it and not have someone kind of popping it in there and showing you everything. But if you watch enough of those videos, it pretty much just becomes part of your thinking process. I mean, that's what we get from watching ICT. When I started, it was all foreign to me. Every concept needed evaluation in the moment to try to apply it, and it was difficult. And then back testing, doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over hundreds of times. Now in the live market, it's slowed down so much. And I used to do my back testing, speed it up. I would speed up my replay mode to 2x and try to catch it. It's kind of like fighting someone that's stronger than you, or fighting someone that's quicker. Eventually it makes you quicker. So I always wanted to put it in, because I'm on a minute time frame, so I would play it a little faster. I think I started with 1.5 or something, and let the market play, and I would make my, do my stuff, and got up to 2, and I was still able to make the right calls on it. So I know this is off topic, but can anyone help me understand GBP JPY, how it is in a down market? Daddy X Daddy. Definitely haven't been in here before. Welcome. There's Forex people in here, so I think Marcus is a Forex guy, but he's gone. Yeah. Who knows something about Forex can help Daddy out? I'm not going to call you Daddy, man. That didn't sound right. FX student. If FX student can't help you, nobody can. He is an FX student, so. Yeah, we'll get you an answer, man. Someone will help you out. You might go out and ask in the chat too. All right, so did we take liquidity and are we stepping back up, or did we take liquidity retracing for a further move down? This is all, indecisive right now for me. I'm going to take 5 and I'll be right back.
I meant like more for your London's high and low. So I might use this between like 3 or a.m. to find my PM session high and low, and then or our time from 3 a.m. up until midnight open.
All right, not much has changed, so that's good. While we're killing time here, let's see, check for new names. JJH, he's the one that just got funded here recently, I believe. Good job. Give him a welcome, sir. When you pass your eval or you get funded, we call you sir for a day, because that's an achievement, that's an accomplishment. LK, are you talking to me? There's a lot of conversation in there. So when you're asking about what times do I find, I don't use the times so much as the highs and the lows, regardless of the times they appear in. I've got the midnight open. Oh yeah, midnight open down here. Team viewer, look for an indicator called ICT comp sets by Luxos, trading view. Okay, yeah, these two. Okay. One last check for new names. I spend more time welcoming new people recently than I do trading, but that's okay. All right, dude with the minuses and equal signs in your name, you're really a challenge, okay? Minus, equal, minus, equal, minus, equal, minus, welcome. I don't know what else to say. What do I call you, man? Give me a nickname or something. I'm not going to go through that. But anyway, glad to have you. I'm going to spend a minute with, well, wait a minute. No, I'm not taking anything here, so a possible trend entry, advanced entry developing right here with displacement, fair value gap maybe. You know, do we go back up here? There is no 5-minute fair value gap here, so that's, you know, that's good. Let's go over the week so far. This is posted live. There's a link in the Discord, and I update it, and you can always see kind of where I'm at on my evals. This isn't my cash account, but if you want to follow along where I'm at on my evals and see how I'm doing, all these trades, I take them live so you guys see whether I win or lose. I don't cut anything. My videos are ridiculously long that I post to YouTube. I don't edit them. I'm not trying to show just a certain portion of what I do. So my hope for that is not to gain viewers, but for people to stumble across it and start listening to it and hear some good stuff, hear some psychology, whatever. I even stopped putting the timestamps in for the trades, because if they're just trying to come see the trade, they missed everything I talked about that led me up to take that trade. So like I said, I'm not doing it for views. I'm doing it for bang for the buck as far as educational value. This week, if we start with Monday and check. So yesterday was, you know, quite a day. But before that, I was still about 6,000 up. No, that can't be right. 600 up, maybe. Yeah, this is for 10 accounts. So anyway, if you followed me long enough and have seen me do this long enough, you know that my losses used to be 2, 3, and 4 grand often, and my wins would be 2, 3, 4, 5 grand often. What I've been able to do is start limiting my losses down to numbers that are really, you know, reasonable for what I'm trading. This is an average 5-point stop loss right here. So if anything less than 1,000 was a really good managed stop loss, anything over was maybe me giving it a little bit more or have been added to the position and it came against me a little bit. This was a fluke day that I still took some credit for, because even though I was mad and, you know, kind of just taking a shot at the market, I had planned a decent trade. I was in a trade that got me out, and Tradovate caused me some problems, and I took a huge more loss than I should have, and I got mad and I went in real heavy. But I pyramided up. I still managed my stop. I trailed. I was anxious and negative because of what happened on the previous trade, right? And anyway, so I mean, I can do this, and that was a lot of my trading before, and I reinforced some negative behavior by doing that. But still, I admit over here that after the Tradovate glitched again, I sized up and went after it, and I YOLO'd it. But we all have our weaknesses. So that's obviously one of mine. I was trying to use many different Apex account copied with Tradovate, but it seemed the copier doesn't work. Yeah, exactly. If I place an execution on Tradovate, I can make it show up on TradingView, and I can move my stuff, and I can still use it. But I was starting to think maybe that was part of the problem, was my connection. And this doesn't move near as fast as this. The feedback here is a lot better than what I get on TradingView, tick by tick. There's lag, and it feels like slippage when you get in, like that move right there. I wouldn't have seen it on TradingView, but if I was in a trade and it stopped me out, it would show as more than I wanted to lose, or more than I expected to lose from what I saw on TradingView. It's accurate, but I wasn't getting the same feedback. And this isn't terrible long. I mean, it did close above, trade. The displacement was, no, it didn't actually close above. So I would need the displacement to be through a break. This doesn't count as displacement through a break for me, so I wouldn't have taken it anyway, but and I don't know, I've missed so many trades today that, I'm a little irked about it, but at the same time, I'm excited because the setups are there, and for whatever reason, like this one, I just, we went through that all together, saw what happened and what I did and how I felt about it. Called some other ones that were decent, but had already said I was going to wait for external liquidity, so kind of put myself in the box there. It was a great day. This has been a great trading day so far for the Silver Bullet and ICT Concepts. And I'm always going to stress that. What I'm doing is ICT Concepts. ICT Concepts, everything, unless you see me talk about a DR, crack and trade, and even that is using ICT Concepts to make DR better, right? So I've invited people in here that have made snide comments on my YouTube channel. I told them, I said, just come see. I'm not going to argue with you in a comment. I'm doing everything I can to prove it. I'm trading live in front of a bunch of people, and it's all ICT. If you want to come in here and prove me wrong, then I'm open to that. And it would be real hard to prove me wrong because I've got the track record too. If you show up on a bad day, it doesn't negate the concepts. That's just my bad day. I misapplied something. And if you watch me analyze my losses, you'll see where I failed and not the concepts. Very, very rarely do the concepts fail if you're patient enough and have the discipline and the awareness, to catch everything you need. I'm playing with really half a toolbox as it is. So if you go look at Backtest Jess's trades that she took, and I told her, I said, that's next level. It's literally next level. Applying ICT Concepts. Let me pull that up. ICT, Jess trades. She's catching these moves off stuff that I don't even see. I wouldn't have got in anywhere in here. But the way she's trading with her higher time frame confluences and her understanding of the models and things like that, she's just catching these monster trades. This says 491 ticks, okay? You want to catch some nice trades? But the stuff she's using is, it's right now it's next level to me, but I know it's a level I'm going to get to. And so I've got, a lot of confidence because of that. There's other people that are doing a lot better than me. So, but I'm still out here trying to prove that it's good for you guys too, because when people start talking against it and telling you it's all fraud stuff, then that puts you back to trying to find something else that may be less probability, and that's not what I want. So this move up just was followed by a big move down, huge move down. Nothing on the 1 minute. I like to go look at the 30-second just to see where there might have been something. It was too quick to catch on the 30-second also. That's 10:56. It wouldn't have been an hour candle. Otherwise the 30-second model would be something I could have looked at. Well, I don't know. From here, yeah, it might have been an hour candle because it took all of that from all the way back to 10 something. So yeah, but there was no entry on it, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so this is good. Gets me back down here. Maybe we come after this stuff. We've got this low here. This low here. Just pop another one down here. And a final one down here. So we'll get all of our lows in a row. Big double low down here. Huge target. A long way to go to get to it, but when we get close to it, that'll be exciting. That's like a, you know, a big draw on liquidity. We can kind of plan as being a magnet for price. This didn't break structure on the close. Yeah, it broke this one. Yeah, it broke structure here. Would not be a terrible, you know, it actually took a lot of, that's the thing, when it takes the liquidity at the same time it gets the displacement, you're kind of in a quandary. It's also the DR confirming short on the 5 minutes. So we'll kind of look at a Kraken DR trade and see how it develops. I'll go through that as it happens and we'll see what we get. It might not be a great day for it because of the type of, you know, day it is. I don't know. They're pretty sensitive to trading on certain days and not certain days, especially news, and maybe high volatility is more likely than not to cause a false day. But let's go look at where the DR is on the overall range. So we confirm short in a bullish trend on a pullback. So for me, this isn't great continuation unless we're going to get a, you know, a change in direction or something like that. But just looking at it, it's not ideal if you take everything else into consideration. Right now, looking at it before we get the break or anything, it looks like, you know, it's going to come up back up this way. That's using the higher time frame stuff. So don't know if it does or not, but just following rules and, you know, concepts, things like that. This isn't where you'd be as confident to take this trade and expect it to come down here, even if the OTE of the range, the full swing, you could get a little, you know, you could still tap 50% here and even maybe target OTE. Wouldn't be terrible because that could still be part of this pullback, but it would have to break this structure first, and it hasn't shown a willingness to want to come back and break structure yet. So if it does, it would be a first in a little while, which could either be signaling a reversal or it's just a really nice pullback into OTE. So there's lots of stuff to kind of think through to try to figure your probabilities, and it's more about comfort zone, right? If I know all this and I take the trade, you know, and I have the gut feeling and I'm thinking, I already told myself, you know, the psychological impact of losing on it is bigger than just missing the trade, right? If I just missed the trade, but I stepped it all out and recognized maybe a good one to pass on, it's a lot easier for me to miss the trade and not feel anything about it, rather than just jumping in and, you know, taking it based on what it says on the 5-minute chart. So also there's no PDA support really on the way up. So there's two good indicators that it'll be a false day today. No PDA support all the way through the range, other than if this gets created. It's at a bad place on the leg. We're in an uptrend on the hour. So, you know, we wouldn't be in it yet anyway. We'd wait for a retrace into something after 11 o'clock anyway, or 12 o'clock. But wait a minute, it confirmed late, so we're probably in a place where we could, if it comes back up into that. But like I said, that's too small, there's nothing above it. You wouldn't have a good place to put your stop that you could trust on anything, really. So good or bad, I've just got reasons to say no, and for me that's enough. I don't let the candle by candles is important, but you've got to take this other stuff into consideration also. And I don't mind missing trades. I would just rather miss all the ones that are, I just want to win the ones I take, and I want to give myself the best chance to win those. So that involves passing on a lot of stuff, where sometimes it's good that you passed on it, and sometimes you would have won, but that doesn't cost you anything, passing on a trade, and it reinforces the fact that I'm really being disciplined, I'm really being patient, I'm really being focused, I'm trying to cover all my bases, check off all my boxes, and when I'm ready to pull the trigger, everything says yes, right? And that's how I can take that trade and lose as well, and lose money, and still be like, fine, I did everything I could do. Great trader, trade didn't work. So be it, on to the next one. So we've tapped that. The market's going after liquidity and seeking to balance inefficiencies. All of these are inefficiencies, right? All of these are volume imbalances that haven't been touched yet. It needs to come down here and balance these inefficiencies. So we never know how far it'll go, right? I mean, look at them. But somewhere in here, there's going to be a lineup with a bunch of other higher time frame stuff that's going to tell us, okay, a long is good. Right? We got it on the 4 hour. We're still in it on the hour with a lot of time left. Tapped in on the 1 minute. That shouldn't be the 1 minute. That should be the 15 and 30. Okay, so we're in on the 15, in on the 30, in on just about everything, right? Coming out of the daily. Lots of good reasons to go long. Testing London's DR low, IDR low, and the open. Midnight open below here. We've already taken previous day's high. This is setting up for nice recapture up here on the 1 minute and especially the 5. 1, 2, 3, 3 nice points there, plus everything that's created on the way. So who knows? So this one's gone. Get rid of it. Start placing lines on my closest breakage structure swing. So I'm looking to go long, but I need a swing. So right now I need a stop, I need a consolidation, I need another, the bottom of this won't be the bottom. So there will be some, messing around, and I'll build a swing lower that I can then pull this down to use for a reversal. So great break structure on the 5. Had a couple of them. Could have been short probably, on some of this. Break structure here. I wouldn't have counted that, even though it's substantial. No. Alright, so here we get our first indication of a point to look at. Let's see what it dropped into. Right, on every time frame. I mean, look at that. We're still in the daily. We touched the 30-minute. In a 4-hour, in a 1-hour, touched the 15-minute. Imbalance on the 5-minute. Imbalance is fair value up on the 1-minute. So I still think it will. I don't think this will hold. I think we'll get some sideways, little retrace. I think it'll dip back down. And in doing that, I think it creates a swing for me here, maybe. In whatever kind of consolidation we get right here, there'll be a swing that I can use for the move back up. So that's my long idea. I don't really have a short idea, even though there's probably plenty of them that are going to present themselves. If it's a long, on these advanced moves, I could be taking it, but I'm sticking to, what I said I was going to do. So I'm not in a hurry to get in a trade and just whatever. I'm trying to be real clear and precise and create a narrative that you guys can follow. And if I'm jumping in and out of different kinds of models, different kinds of trades, then that's harder for you guys to follow. So I'm focused on the silver bullet. Even though we're out of the silver bullet hour, I'm looking for the silver bullet criteria, which, regardless of when it presents itself, it's a solid trade. A little bummed out now. I got stopped out on that retracement at 11:24. Yeah, it's all right to be bummed out. I get bummed out anytime that happens, but it shouldn't affect your next trade. You shouldn't feel it more than. I would go back and look and just see how it could have been better. Did you take the best entry? Did you feel like there were reservations when you took it? Examine every trade and keep notes, whatever. And you may already do all that. I don't know where you're at. You're kind of new here, so I see a lot of people post stuff that tells me what kind of work they put into their process. So I'm not sure where you're at yet, but that's what I do, and I find like it's really helpful. Because what I want after a loss is I want to immediately get into a positive mindset, right? As soon as I can, I'm in solutions. I'm in, changes. I'm in evaluation. Maybe it got stopped out and I did everything I could and I've got a reason to celebrate that loss, right? I managed my stop. That's why this is a cool thing for me, because even on my bad trades, if I recognize patterns of really good stop loss, really good stop management, I'm getting better as a trader. This doesn't matter to me as much right now. This matters to me. And I've got a long way to go, but this is how I go find the good stuff, the things that keep me motivated through trades that don't work. You're going to get trades that don't work, and you can't control that. But you can control this. If you can look back and say you controlled some stuff in here and you see improvements, then the bad trade is kind of outweighed by the good, the good feeling of progress. You're either earning or learning. So just take the loss and rack it up to market tuition. Thank you. And we've got some stuff coming up. So I created my new swing right here. I got my consolidation. I still think this gets tapped. But now I have the point that I can use that's within reason to look for a market structure shift instead of having to wait till it comes all the way up here. And this would have been a decent long. This would have been a decent short, right? Because this pattern repeats so often on huge legs like this. It's very rarely the bottom. And you'll hear me say that all the time. I might start scalping them a little bit more down the road because I talk about it so much and it hits so often. I'm like, dang, I should be taking these trades. But, I threw myself off track. Oh, we got some stuff coming out that's going to be stuff that's not available in this trading space right now. So I'll just kind of leave you with that. For members of this Discord, we got some plans, some tools, some ways to support you guys that nobody else has right now. They don't even have access to it. And it's the stuff I would have wanted as a new trader for myself. And that's what this Discord's all about. What did I need? What did I want? What could have made me better sooner? What could have helped me avoid a ton of mistakes, a ton of rabbit holes, you know, all of that stuff. That's what we're trying to do for you guys. So we'll see what kind of rejections we get here. We close this imbalance. See, a long time ago, this was used as a bullish PDA. I guarantee you, Jake, if he was in the market, he traded this on the basis of this volume imbalance and caught this move. But when it comes back, right, a lot of times, it will be to rebalance, or how does he say it? Fix the inefficiency or whatever in the way price was delivered. So now to me it's sort of a magnet for a close, when here it would have been a indicator of a repelling force. And it's like anything else, it's the same as a fair value gap. You know, it's a repelling force here, but when you start getting back down to them, you get the bounce, and eventually you know, trade through them. And I post a video about, is the stock market random? And I go into a lot of depth and examples of how this pattern is repeated and recognizable, and can be used over and over and over by us once we recognize it. $20 handles to the 50% of the fib on the 1 hour. You caught 20 handles, boyo? You didn't catch 20 handles. Get off the gas, man. Oh, no? All right. If you did, I was like, you were going to be streaming Monday. If you pop in here and show me 20 handles, that's like you passed the test. And I'm actually going to need some people to stream next week. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm back in my normal work schedule. If any of you guys want to jump in here and carry it, if you know, are feeling fairly proficient and have some stuff you think people could benefit from, you can come in here and stream, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I am going to come in at the last 15 minutes of the day each day and try to catch the move. I think I can do that with work, and I'm usually up and not early enough to trade the full 2 hours of the session, but I'm up by, you know, 2:30. I could just jump in. That's a trade that's easy enough. I don't need to see much to just get in and grab, and it's a lot of times it's my biggest trade of the day or the week, so I'm going to be in for the last 15 minutes of the session. I'll probably be in the market the last 30, but I'll go live the last 15, something like that. I don't know. If you're interested in doing something like that, DM me, and you know, we'll just kind of talk about it, and let me know if you have some things you think you could share, or if you have any concerns and you just want me to give you an answer on a couple things, something like that. Get in here and push yourself. I mean, it is hard, it is different, but it's a way to stretch your legs a little bit. I understand if you don't want to be distracted from the market itself and your personal trading, so don't jeopardize that. But if you think you can do both, then by all means, let me know. Or if you don't plan to trade that day, jump in with some charts, call price action, talk about your strategy. Just something to give people a place to come, I guess. I know a lot of you are just listening to me and probably watching your own charts and focused on your stuff, and this is background noise, but we want to try to get as much activity in here as we can, just so people have a place that if they're trying to learn, they can learn. And I think we can all learn anything, you know, from any of you, so everybody has something they can contribute. Is Michael still in here? Michael, yeah, I banned one earlier, another Mark from Omaha. And those guys are idiots. I mean, I look at the welcome list. I see them as soon as they come in, and, you know, I bump them out. I mean, this is our, you know, I scroll through here, and I look for Mark from Omaha. And there was one, maybe it goes away. Well, maybe when I ban them, their welcome message disappears. I guess so. Anyway, I spot them in here and I ban them. And when you guys tell me about them, I ban them. So everybody's warned that this is a place people are going to target because it's easy to get into. But I don't want to make it hard to get into either. So I just let them try their stuff. We kick them out. We, you know, if I think they're scamming while they're in the Discord, I just kick them out. I don't, you know, I apologize later and say, you know what, there's a chance you're probably in here, you know, farming for students and stuff. And you've had some guys come in here that definitely weren't qualified to do that, to have a $600 course or whatever. And he couldn't answer some very, you know, simple questions about stuff. It just didn't feel right. So I kicked him out and I apologized. I was like, you know, maybe you're legit. Come back under a different account. Drop the link for your course. If you want to partake, you can. But all right. So this wasn't the bottom. This wasn't the bottom. This wasn't the bottom. We're, you know, testing, creating liquidity. I've got a new swing here. I would rather see this one, but I take whatever swing I can get. If I get both of them, that'd be amazing with a big push. Kraken would probably wait for this one. And, you know, maybe I should too, but the results I'm getting and information I've collected tells me that the way I trade, I can get away with taking these. I'm kind of hesitant though. I'm like, man, let's push it up there, just, you know, but it is what it is. If it takes this, if it's displacement and it starts from here, it's going to take both of them anyway. Displacement wouldn't just stop right here for me. Big guys coming? Like big candles? What do you mean, Stifler? Oh, big buys coming. Okay. I read that wrong. Yeah, big buys coming. For sure. And, you know, these concepts and these setups give us the confidence to kind of take stuff like this. Because this is a huge, you know, you're going to long into that? Are you kidding me, man? Well, the market has to come down before it can go up. So the overall dynamics of the market, we're in agreement with, right? We're not doing anything that's out of character for the way the market moves. And you just, you know, you got to know why it comes down, how far it needs to come down. There's a lot that goes into understanding that, but I don't feel like I'm like I used to try to go long into this. I used to just try to time the bottom, and I got beat up here, I got beat up here, I got beat up here, because I didn't know the draw was down here, you know. I didn't know that an actual reversal will show me something that I can use. Well, hopefully I'm right. We took low in S&T with the BS. Oh, you went long already? Well, I hope you're right too. I mean, but I couldn't have taken that. I couldn't have taken that trade. I guess when I say I'm hoping I'm right, I'm thinking that I'm hoping I was right in my analysis, that then led me to take the trade. So, I have a feeling. I don't know what NQ is doing right now, but according to ES, that trade could be in trouble. You know, and we could have drawn a box again somewhere. Kind of hard to tell. I mean, the most points are kind of covered right in this area, and the most points would have been covered down to here. Maybe something like that without getting too crazy up here. We're still good for long eventually because of all this liquidity, but it hadn't tipped its hand yet, and there was no PDA support right here. I won't do it off the volume imbalance. I need a fair value gap. So now we're down into another fair value gap, coming into another fair value gap. We've tricked the traders a couple times. So, still looking for my criteria. Now my swing is here. I'll look for the same thing. Consolidation, new swing created, bring it down, and then wait for displacement. It's just the same thing over and over and over, just waiting and being patient, right? I may have missed some trades, but I also didn't take any bad ones, right? Through all this move, trying to catch a retracement, catch a top or a bottom. The criteria filtered that out of my process to where it kept me safe. So still waiting, just being patient. This liquidity's gone. We've got major liquidity down here. But we've had a nice 1, 2, I like to see 3 sometimes. After the third one, I get really, really more confident if it's a substantial. I don't even know if I'd count that, but hindsight, it was a nice push. Had a nice wick. It signaled long, got people to go long, and then they got stopped out. So, I don't know. Maybe a 1, but, definitely the 1 here if not. Well, hopefully I'm right. We took low, stop loss hit. So what did you get out of that, Stifler? What are you going to use next time? Let's analyze it, right? Let's talk about it. Went long here. I'd be interested to know what your criteria was. I don't know you personally, so I don't even know what model you trade, but I see you, talking about some of the same stuff we do, but it looks like, just kind of, was there any fair value yes in there? No, I didn't see anything. Yeah, what's your confirmation though? What system do you trade? For you, what would confirmation have been? What would it have looked like? What would you have needed to see to feel really good about your odds? To where it wasn't, hopefully I'm right, but I'm usually right when this happens. So this is good. We got, bearish fair value gap mitigated. Created a little baby 1 minute, but it would just need to explode, up through here. And now I can't even really use that swing because it wouldn't be with displacement if it just came up here. So now I need something to explode through this and end up here somewhere and create a fair value gap. Market structure shift and entry of breaker block. Amen. There you go. Right. Breaker structure, breaker block, fair value gap, something, displacement. So it sounds like you're trading ICT too. Good job. So you had the idea. It sounds like you just ran out of patience, maybe. And that's something, we all have to fight big time. So this feels more like a move back up to capture this right now. I'm still not ready to say this is the move because it just started out sort of lethargic. These three, 4 candles should have just been one candle, push. And I'd still be surprised if that's the bottom. But, you never know. Not necessarily. There's not it made a couple pushes, and then it didn't leave a lot down here. You know, 1 tick's worth. So that would be kind of like the hourly reversal. I think since time is fractal, that type of signature might be the same thing that we see on other time frames when there's an actual reversal coming away. That's why I want to know what it looks like, that fingerprint. How does the market like to reverse? Because it's going to do it in a way that's efficient, and it's hard to then stop doing it efficiently. If it does it in a less efficient manner for what we know the market does, then it's cutting off its nose to spite its face. So this might be one of those things that's just what it does, you know, most of the time. NQ just hit previous day high. ES still far from previous day high. Yeah, previous day high for me is previous day high up here. Yeah. So no trades, just waiting, being patient, practicing discipline. And I'm looking for next hourly candle. Very often we want to say let's go bullish. The new hourly candle will trace first and then distribution higher. Yeah, that's power of 3 for sure. I just don't think you can trade that, and you might have still been right. You know, that's a really great system to employ and an understanding to have, but I think waiting for the criteria then validates it completely, because you might still get that where we come down here, take it, and then the wick from the hourly candle is formed as we head back up. So you might have had the idea but got the time wrong. And you know, the idea isn't 100% either. You know, it doesn't have to do that, but it's a good way to frame your trades and another confluence to have to add to your stuff. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to go long. That's why I'm looking at every candle and I'm paying attention to my break of structure point, right? A lot of good reasons to go long in this area. But I need my filter to tell me yes or no. Shoot me into the good trade, keep me out of the bad trade. There's tons of bad trades down here. There just are. When you start doing this, all the bulls are, you know, sharpening their horns. They're loaded for bear. Oh my God, I'm so corny. The bulls are loaded for bear right here, right? They want to go. So, and Stifler, I've taken that trade more times than I want to admit, right? I've tried to catch that so many times. It's just not worth the few points that I might have won or lost. Usually lost because I was trading against the models and the criteria. And if the criteria is good, you definitely don't want to trade against it or without it. You know, I've established this criteria is just amazingly accurate compared to everything else. So if I trade against it, it's kind of like trading against the DR confirmation when you're a DR person. It's almost like you can't make yourself push the button. You know, this is what you trust, this is what you believe in, but you want to go, you know, against it. You see a long, but you're like, well, the DR confirmed short. Well, this isn't everything. This isn't, you know, it's no different than going up against the fair value gap that you're going to have to mitigate on your way up here to where the market's going to go and eventually mitigate. So it either mitigates it on your trade, which is as likely as anything, or it mitigates it after you get stopped out on a retracement and then keeps going, you know, because you pulled your stop too tight or something. But I don't worry about what's above me. I don't worry about what's below me. There can be liquidity here. I'll still take this trade because we've come through so much liquidity already. If I wait for it to take every line, right, where do you stop, right? You get to a good place and you wait for your criteria to be met. Then it's a well thought out, well planned, and if you execute well, it's a well executed trade. Everything lines up, good odds, and you just have to then accept, you know, you're already accepting what you lost. You're not going to move your stop. So every time I push the button, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with losing this amount, aiming for that amount. I did everything I possibly could. And that's huge for me. That changed everything. And then I just hit the button, you know, and watch and try to, you know, learn. I like to kind of gauge my confidence as the trade is playing out. I've learned a lot about being able to accept the retracements, down to OTE before I even think about it. I plan for the market to come down here. If I would have went long right here, this isn't heat for me until it's down here somewhere. And by then, I'm so close to a good tight stop loss that I just get stopped out and I'm okay, And it's when I start saying, well, I've got this level down here, maybe I should pull it down a tick below this one. Oh my God, that's another 5 points, and I've done it, So, can't do it. I want stop management to be, like, in my own mind, my strongest thing. My targets, a lot of times I aim for targets, and I always try to pick the good levels of liquidity. Sometimes I'll just take the 5, and when it might have went up to 7, but I need the 5. So, that's a miss. I could have used liquidity. There's reasons I can get better. But stop loss is what used to kill me in moving it and mismanaging it. And now I'm trending towards better. Better. That's growth. That's growth I can see regardless of my P&L, regardless of my trading results, regardless of my win percentage. Things like that are important. All right, so we're in the lunch hour now. I'm not going to trade anything. I'm going to take my break. And if one of you guys want to carry it and talk about your trades for the day, or maybe you're already done or something, I'm what's that? I'm doing a challenge now, so my rules are a bit different. I risk a little bit more. Yeah, I hear you. I started like that because I was in challenges. And then I stopped and I said I'm not going to risk more because I want to challenge. I want to eval pass just like I'm going to funded Excel, right? I want to use the same thing to pass my evals that I'm actually going to trade in real life, because then when I get that chance to trade that eval or that funded account, I don't have to change anything. Everything I did worked. It proved it to me. It got me through the eval. It's $15,000, $20,000 a month if I keep that same pace. I don't need to change anything. So be careful about trading a different system or a different mindset just because you're in an eval. All you're doing is not focusing on what you know is best in order to get it done quicker, and the impatience will, that can, and I failed when I did it that way too. I was able to pass evals pretty quick, but then when it got time to do the fundeds, I didn't have the same foundation underneath me that I'd been trading for a month or so. Oh, okay. Well, if you're just trading them as demo, that's cool. But still, try to maintain your rules and your criteria. You'll just do better as a trader. And they may be cheap. But your time isn't, Stifler, right? The time you're going to spend doing that is not cheap. I made that mistake in the beginning and started throwing. I went through 70 accounts or something. I mean, I'm on 76. I used to blow them in tens, right? And I went through a 20 one time. So after doing that a few times, I'm in my second set that I'm serious about. Let's put it like that. The first set I was serious about, I passed, and then failed in the funded because of those new challenges that we talk about all the time. And now I'm in my second set of seriously applying the same methods and models and all that. Oh my God, how? Does that help you, Jesse? I can't help but keep track. It keeps tracking the number for me, right? It says 76 right there. I've blown 70. Well, I'm in 10 right now, so technically I've only blown 66. But like I said, when I first started doing prop firms and stuff, I tried, and like I said, I went from 5 to 7 to 10 in a week, and I was in 10s ever since. So when people are talking about blowing 2 or 3 accounts, I blew 20 or 30 in the same time span. But I was grouping them and trying to learn copy trading, because for me that's the answer. And I was trying to, it was my tuition, right? Now I can trade copy stuff. I know all about that, so it paid off. But I was trying to YOLO it and beat the system. I mean, I made it through 100K eval. I made it 90 to 95% through 100K eval in one trade. I just crushed it, right? I threw 10 minis at it or something. Made, I think it was a $9,000 target. Whichever one I had, it was like a $9,000 target, and I got really, really close on one trade. And then I blew the account, right? Because the next YOLO didn't work. And then I started going backwards, and I had nothing solid under me. And a lot of my ICT growth has been since I started, doing these things. So, yeah, so don't feel bad, if you're number 2. But again, gut-wrenching honesty. I'm not afraid to show you, where I've been, what I've been through, what I'm doing. And I hope that gives me some credibility. When you're talking about, man, I blew these 3 accounts, and I'm saying, I got you. Let's talk about it. I've blown accounts, right? I blew $500,000 worth. It was the first time I had it, first time I got to face that challenge, and I did just what everybody said I was going to do. But anyway, enough of all that. One last check for names. Got any volunteers to carry the stream? Rowan, Greg, Queen, Neil, JJ if you're in here, Jesse, FX Student, Boyo. I don't care. I mean, anybody. If you want to grab the stream, go ahead. But otherwise, I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back at or around 2 o'clock New York, which will be a couple hours. Get some food. I got a friend request. Ready. We're friends now, LK. Well, okay. Yeah, yay. I say that a lot too. K-Chick. K-Chick. Oh, you got cats. I love cats. Right on. Welcome. Haven't seen you here before. Good to see you. I'm about to take a break, but I'll be back in a little bit, and we'll keep on motoring through. I got a black one with some white markings, and then I've got a Bengal that's just beautiful, and the best cats, I swear. I'll put pictures of my cats in the non-trading thing, and you guys are welcome to as well. That's what that's for. Cats, dogs, boats, motorcycles, stuff. I just don't like having to take them out, in the winter. My cats, I can leave for a few days, go somewhere. I got 2 litter boxes. I fill it up. I put a whole bunch of food in there, and they're good, man. They don't care about anything. They don't tear nothing up. So I love dogs too, but cats are just easier on my lifestyle. It's 4 cats, Jesse, right? That's what'll end up there probably. It's just like Facebook. And maybe it's because the algorithm sees that I click on that stuff, but I get more cat stuff than I know what to do with. Where's Greek Bear? I know he would take over the stream. He's talkative. He likes to go. Is JP not in here? Or the other JP? No. Alright, well, I guess I just let it run. This is going to be just one long empty space in a 2-hour video. Well, no, I'm going to stop recording. If y'all are going to do that to me, I'm going to stop recording so I can split the video up.